All right, this is the Sweet 16 preview program as we get ready for the Sweet 16 tomorrow. The next 2 days we'll have the Sweet 16. Then on Monday we will have the Elite Eight, and we will go from there, I guess, and see what happens. We'll review the first 2 rounds a little bit on this program, and then we'll probably discuss other topics, other various topics. Such as the coaching stuff, as we welcome in Mr. TBLAR or whatever. What did I just say? I don't know. We'll go with it.
How's it going? Yeah. How's it going?
I mean, I got to say,
the quickest 30 seconds ever. Did you do a 30-second countdown?
I did not. I just went right into it. I mean, that's kind
of course you did.
Okay. You just go right into it and you go. And I think the 30-second thing is really saved for the Illini podcast, but it is what it is. But I guess as we get into this, we got college basketball the next 4 days, I think, right? Because we got Sweet 16 Elite Eight. I guess.
Are they playing on Monday and Tuesday?
I think they are.
Wow, we're very.
Yeah. 29th and 30th is the Elite Eight. So it's a weird schedule, but
so
this is what they get for not starting it on Thursday. Hopefully next year they do. And hopefully next year we have a region in New York, a region in LA, the whole thing. Hopefully we can get back to that. I think we will, though, by next year at this time, you'd think. But anyway, I want to cover some of the coaching stuff that's been going on in college basketball because there's been a lot of weird things happening and things that people probably didn't expect. I don't know if we're going to do an Elite Eight preview show. I mean, I already have a logo ready for it, so we might as well do that Monday morning or Sunday night or something or whatever. Whatever you want to do, we can do that. Then we'll do a Final Four one as well later in the week. But let's start coaching-wise, and I want to talk about a couple moves. Number one is Pat Kelsey going from Winthrop to College of Charleston. Weird move. He's going from the Big South to the Colonial Athletic. I know he got a ton of money to go to College of Charleston, so it's a good move for him in terms of getting a huge raise, and I think eventually he'll be a power conference coach. He did a great job at Winthrop. I know they didn't win in the first round like a lot of people expected them to, but he did that. Then the real surprising one is Shaka Smart leaving Texas to go to Marquette. I mean, I don't think it's official yet, but it's going to be official. Yeah. Very weird move. But also I think it's the right move for Shaka.
Yeah, I mean, the writing was probably on the wall. He hasn't succeeded at Texas.
They're the richest program that doesn't win anything.
Yeah.
They have so much money. They can get whoever they want, barring that person would actually take the raise. Like, I think their number one target at Texas is going to be Chris Beard.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Chris Beard should leave.
Yeah.
If I were him, I wouldn't leave.
That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't want the Texas job. Everybody wants you to win. I think that Shaka built a good program. He's got good players. But he's used to, running his, havoc system or whatever you call it with not top tier players. So, it's easier to make guys less recruited buy into a program than guys that, maybe have a bigger head.
They had so much talent on that Texas team. I mean, I said this year going into the tournament, they were top 5 in this tournament in terms of talent, length, and athleticism.
Yeah.
I think teams that were with them, I think Illinois was the same way with the talent and experience and athleticism and all that stuff. And it's not like Texas's lineup was a bunch of freshman 5-stars. You had Coleman, Ramey, and Jones were all either juniors or seniors. Yeah. You had Jericho Sims as a senior and Kai Jones as a junior. So they had a lot of experience. And the fact that not only did they lose in the first round, they lost to a team that is in the same state as them that shouldn't ever be able to compete with them in any sport.
No.
I mean, it's absurd. Abilene Christian has gotten $120 million from boosters after they won that game.
Playing it, wow.
Yeah. So if
a team starts a 5'7" guy and then 2 6-foot guys, you probably should.
Competing. If you're Texas, do you hit up Joe Golding, who's the head coach at Abilene Christian?
I don't.
He's got ties to Texas. He has a tremendous system. I mean, imagine he could play that defensive system with actual size and athleticism and guys that can score.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he could take them to another level. I doubt that happens because they're going to want to go for the big name, big splash.
Drop one.
I think Chris Beard's contract is, if a Big 12 team has to buy him out, it's $6 million. If it's a non-Big 12 team, it's $3 million. So I think Texas Tech did that with the idea of him not being able to go to Texas, but Texas would do it. I don't think Beard should leave, though. I think he's got something really good going at Texas Tech. and why leave? And also, I like how Texas fired Rick Barnes and then got Shaka, and Rick Barnes has just done a great job at Tennessee. So
Right.
probably a
Yeah.
mistake.
Yeah.
They wanted to go for that big savvy hire. I wanted Shaka at Illinois.
That's what I'm. Do you think that he's thinking that maybe he should have gave Illinois more of a look, or?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know.
He
I don't
probably
know
wouldn't be there still.
Try.
If he got it instead of Gross, I doubt Shaka's still here.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe Texas wants to throw some money at Brad Underwood, and then Illinois gets Porter Moser.
That'd be interesting.
I don't think Brad's going to leave. I mean, maybe
Brad has no reason to leave.
No, he's got something going here.
Yeah, unless it's something like a dream job of his. I don't think that.
You know what the most surprising thing to me about the coaching stuff is that I thought if there was going to be a former Illinois coach that retired this year, it'd be Bruce Weber, but it was Lon Kruger. It's very weird. I'm surprised Bruce is still there. I really am. Yeah. And the Big 12 is shaken up now with coaches. I mean, you got Steve Prom out at Iowa State. They bring in TJ Otzelberger, or whatever his name is, from UNLV. And then you got now Texas is open. If Beard leaves for Texas, then you have Texas Tech open. It's very weird. And I thought with all the craziness we'd seen in the Big 12, I thought Kansas State would be open, but it's not. So
yeah, true.
I'm trying to think of any other surprising hires or interesting hires that we've seen. I'm just wondering what's going to happen in Indiana, because the following the Indiana coaching thing is just so ridiculous. Like they think they're going to get Brad Stevens. That's not going to happen.
That's Indiana fans, though.
Yeah, why would you?
They're going to just get.
But they've pressured reporters enough to ask Brad Stevens 25 times about whether he's going to go there. Why would you leave a great NBA job to go back to college? You know how much better, and I've heard this said a lot of times, you know how much better the lifestyle is of an NBA coach over a college coach? If you're a college coach, you're probably working 365 days out of the year, whether it's recruiting or actual coaching. So the NBA job is so much better. You could take a month off in the offseason and not miss anything. True. So, I wouldn't do that for him. I did see they were, quote unquote, zeroing in on Chris Holtman, but then the tweet said that Chris Holtman's happy in Columbus. I don't know why he would leave to go to Indiana unless he's getting like double in salary. Nothing makes sense.
They're going to throw a lot of money out there. I know that, but
I mean, they have to.
I really don't know what they're going to do.
Thad Matta, I think, might be a guy who gets it, but
I thought they
failed physical. Yeah,
physical. Yes,
I thought he would get it, but I guess
that's why he got out of coaching, isn't it? It's kind of surprising that he would want back in.
I mean, he's only 53.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was, quote unquote, conflicting reports. So he left Ohio State in 2017. And
because of health issues, I thought. I
think so, because that was 4 years ago. So he was in his 40s still then.
Yeah.
So obviously he didn't I don't think he got fired, right? So
I don't think so. I think he was just because of all the back pain or whatever.
Okay, so this is what it says. Rivals report said that Mata and the Hoosiers agreed to a contract that would have made him the new head coach, but he failed physical. But then an unnamed source within the Indiana athletic department said they didn't have an agreement and acknowledged that Mata wants to return to coaching under the right circumstances and that Indiana's search for a new coach is ongoing. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I think the whole thing, it's all going to be about disappointment.
Even figure it out. Like, I mean,
you got to do it quickly.
Yeah, but
I don't know where they're going to turn to.
Right. I don't know where you even go now.
Is it really worth the whole splash thing now? Is it really worth giving a guy a ton of money? Why don't you just get someone who can coach?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, but who would have thought that Brad Underwood was on the market? Who would have thought that Shaka Smart would, be leaving Texas to go to Marquette? It's just you never know in this game.
I wonder what's going to happen in Oklahoma. If I had to guess right now, I'm going to say this live on this program. If I had to guess who the next coach at Oklahoma is, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Mark Turgeon. Boom. There you go. There's your bombshell, folks. Turgeon's going to leave Maryland and go to Oklahoma. Watch. He wants out of Maryland.
I've heard that.
So Oklahoma is a perfect fit. You're in a conference where you're not going to have the same constant BS every year, which is what the Big Ten is. The Big Ten's never bad. And the Big 12 was good this year, but some teams were or at a higher, like Baylor's never been this good.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Scott Drew's not going to Indiana. I don't think there's any way that happens, but maybe he does. And I'll say this before we get to the Sweet 16. Nothing has ever been scarier than the current Gonzaga program. Because you remember, they haven't always been getting these big-time recruits. Mark Few's starting to get 5-star recruits.
Yeah.
They got the number 13 overall guy, Hunter Salas, and they're probably going to get the number 1 guy, which is Chet Holmgren. And now we already knew that he can coach, and now he's starting to reel in the 5-stars. Well, that won't happen. If they have a football program, they would do that, I'm sure. But
maybe they start up. Maybe the basketball players can start up like a 7-on-7 football team or something. Does that get you in the big? Does that get you into power conferences?
No, it doesn't. No. So
shoot. All right, I'm trying Gonzaga. I'm trying.
But Gonzaga, I mean, seriously, they're starting to get the 5-stars now. I mean, they're never going to lose the West Coast regular season again.
Yeah.
Like I would bet right now that by 2030 they will win every single West Coast regular season title.
Yeah.
Because they're also getting like 3- and 4-star guys that are staying there for a while. Like what was
he usually doesn't get one. I mean, Suggs is a little different, but
Suggs is like the main guy that came in and is a 5-star, and he's only going to be a 1 and done.
Yeah.
But like Kispert was a 4-star who's 92nd. He probably would have left last year. Like Io, him and Io were in the same situation.
Yeah.
They both decided to stay, which I think was great moves for them.
Mm-hmm.
He was 92nd overall. He's also from Spokane. And then you look at Drew Timmy. I don't remember what he was. I'm going to look it up, though. So he was pretty highly recruited, I think.
Timmy's a senior, right?
He's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore?
Feels like he's been there forever.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's only a sophomore. He's class of 19. He is another 4-star. He was he had 32 offers, though. So he's not, like I'm saying, they're starting to get the top of the top.
Yeah.
Like they've had a lot of 4-stars that have been very good and 3-stars that stay there multiple years. But now they're starting to get the big time guys.
Yep. And guys that fit his system too, you know.
Yeah, and of course, I think the best way to win in college basketball at this point is definitely not Kentucky's model anymore.
Nope.
Even though those are just you win one every few decades.
And I think that's gonna change more now with the G League and stuff like that. I think that the one and dones aren't going to be as prevalent as they were. So, which it might be a scary thing for the blue blood. You know, I mean, once they start getting guys and developing guys better, it could be scary for everybody, just like it was in the past.
So things could change, but it's looking like Chet Holmgren, who's the number 1 guy in next year's class, is going to go to Gonzaga. He's a 7-foot, 190 center.
Yeah, he is
pounds on.
Super skinny.
I mean, Evan Mobley's skinny too, and he's a stud.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I don't even think that matters at this point.
No.
And then Hunter Salas was the number 7 overall recruit and the number 1 point guard, and he's going to Gonzaga. So
wow.
Yeah, I don't know how Gonzaga doesn't ever lose a game in the West Coast again. I mean, is there any way at this point? Probably not, right? I mean,
it'd have to be a fluke, I think.
How embarrassing is it that Minnesota has no chance to get Holmgren, who's literally from Minneapolis? I mean, come on. Like, what are we doing here? But whatever. All right, let's get to the Sweet 16, which involves Gonzaga, by the way. And by the way, Minnesota hired Ben Johnson as their head coach. He used to play there, and he was a good recruiter for them when he was an assistant. Then he was an assistant at Xavier. Now he's back doing that. So there you go. I guess John Beeline's not going to Minnesota. He's probably not even going to get back into coaching, I guess. Which,
no, I don't see it.
Him leaving Michigan was the stupidest he could have ever done.
He's going to be 80 some years old, right?
All right. So we'll talk about the upsets in the first round, I suppose.
Okay.
And what we saw.
Yeah.
As I pull out the bracket key, obviously.
Oh, the key.
Well, Ohio State losing. I guess that's a big one, right? Losing the first round.
Yeah, and your buddy, what's his name? That predicted this?
Sean Paul, yes.
Sean Paul.
Who I have lined
clothing
up.
Designer, Sean Paul, right?
Exactly. I have him lined up to join us before the Final Four. So
nice. Cool.
We'll have him.
Yeah, Oral Roberts probably shouldn't have been a 15 seed.
I mean, resume-wise, they should have been a 15 seed, but actual team-wise, they were more like a 13 or a 14.
Yeah.
But their biggest problem is that they have 2 guys, and then the rest are like depth guys that have to hit some shots if they want to win games.
Yeah, and how is that dude's name Asmus or whatever?
Asmus.
How? It's ABMAS. Explain that.
I don't get it either, but I mean,
Anyways,
it sounds cooler, Asmus.
it does
Sounds cooler than
I agree.
Abmus,
Abmus.
Obmus, whatever.
I want to know the origin of that name.
I mean, Max Asmus is great, and he leads the team, leads the country in scoring, but Kevin O'Banner's been their best player in the tournament.
Yeah.
He hits every top of the key three. He had a bunch of and ones against Florida.
Yeah.
He's like an 88% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
Those 2 guys are averaging a ton of points.
Yeah.
So
to have a big guy that can do that too.
They're a 15 seed that has a legit chance to get the Elite 8. I mean, I think they have a chance against Arkansas. I don't think I'd pick it, but they have a damn good chance. Like I had a good feeling they beat Florida. I didn't think they beat Ohio State. I knew how good they were, but I just didn't think that Ohio State would lose based on the fact they just lost the Big Ten championship. They have so much talent there, and they just didn't play well. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Other first-round upsets, I mean, Oregon State embarrassing Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee, this was a very disappointing season for them. So much talent.
Super disappointing.
9 lefties. I mean, a good defensive
maybe they were
team.
going to get it together, but, man.
They got destroyed.
They were bad.
Ohio beat Virginia, which I had. Not surprising. I think Ohio was very good. I did think Ohio would beat Creighton, but they didn't. So, yeah, that. What else is there? Abilene Christian beating Texas. North Texas beating Purdue. I mean, we touched on Abilene Christian, but
I think I called that North Texas win. In the shoot from the hip. I also had them beating Villanova too. So, and they got.
I didn't think Purdue would have a chance to lose that game. I was a little too high on Purdue, maybe.
Yeah, you were all about Purdue. Big Ten tournament, and then this tournament, you loved them.
Never trust Matt Painter. That's all I can say about that.
Matt Painter does not pound nails.
I think the most dominating performance in the first round, upset-wise, was Syracuse. I mean, they beat the living F out of San Diego State. I mean, Buddy Boeheim might be the greatest scorer in the history of basketball.
Unreal.
I mean, seriously.
Whoa,
I have a pretty strong feeling that Syracuse is going to win tomorrow. I do.
I can see that. Houston didn't look great. There was no reason that Rutgers shouldn't have won that game against
Miles Johnson missing that dunk would have put him up 10 instead of, or was it 8 instead of 6? I think it was 10 instead of 8. Would have put them up 10 instead of 8, and then after that they crumbled.
The slow the game down when you're only up
Stupid.
5 or 6 or whatever it was, and just bleed the shot clock to 5 seconds and then have to force something is the worst coaching decision.
I was surprised that a Steve Pickle team would do that. As Charles Barkley called him, Coach Pickle.
I thought he pounded nails.
I did not think that they would do that. But another game that wasn't really an upset, but it was a throttling, was Wisconsin beating the brakes off of North Carolina. I mean, I had worries about North Carolina's length. I did pick Wisconsin to win the game. I didn't think they'd kill them, but
yeah,
I think the experience factor of the fact that North Carolina is young and Wisconsin's old definitely played a role in that beatdown. Second round wise upsets. I mean,
first loss for in the first round, right? For
I think so.
Roy.
Yeah, which I mean, most of the time they're like a 1 or
yeah.
2
Usually they're not playing anybody.
Yeah. Is it that much of a surprise that USC beat Kansas? Because it's not for me. I think it's a surprise they beat them by 34, but it's not that much of a surprise overall.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a big.
You were on the Kansas suck train for the whole season. They were better than you. I think they were better. They ended up being better than you thought, but they still weren't that good.
But Bill Self can't win in the tournament, and I'll die on that grave. Wait, that's
on that hill.
Anyways, thank you.
How about Oregon just flame throwing from deep, making every shot against Iowa? I mean, this is what I said the whole season. This is what was going to happen to Iowa if they didn't have a game where they could. You scored 80 points and you lost by 15.
Yeah, you can't give up 95 points and win in the NCAA tournament.
I mean, just unreal.
That is Iowa. I mean, that's Iowa's.
I mean, what did I say about Dana Altman? Dana Altman aligns Rubik's Cubes, as Rothstein says. He wins in the tournament, and they're going to win on Sunday.
And they didn't even have a warm-up game. I mean, they came into this and it was impressive. The Pac-12, it's funny because, I know we'll talk about it later, but like the way they play basketball compared to how like the Big Ten plays is just so much different. I mean, it's running, shooting. It's not slow, mostly half court. And I think that's what Illinois tries to do, but Loyola just embarrassed them. So.
This tournament has proven that matchups matter more than anything in the tournament.
Yeah.
Like some teams got really bad draws in the second round, and Iowa is one of those teams.
Yeah.
Oregon on paper is like a 4 seed, I think. They have so much talent. They're good defensively when they have to be. I mean, I know they didn't play much defense against Iowa because they didn't have to, but they're athletic.
And did Oregon have 2 COVID pauses?
I don't remember. They had a lot of issues, though. I got to look up. Let me see if I can pull up my binder to check their
get that
their slick out. Their lineup. I pulled out the wrong region. It's the West region. What an idiot. But Oregon, like, if you look at some of their like dates from when they played to when they didn't play, I mean, they had 2 weeks where they didn't play at all. They didn't start the season until about a week later than everybody else. They lost to Missouri, and then they rattled off 8 in a row
before it even started. And then had one midseason.
They had 2 weeks where they didn't play, but they got really hot. I mean, they're a 21-6 team.
Yeah.
So
a
21-16. That's a 7 seed that wins the Pac-12 in the regular season. I mean,
what is going on?
Say whatever you want about Loyola Chicago or Georgia Tech or anybody. Oregon's the most underseeded team.
I agree
by far. Yeah. I mean, just a ton of talent. They were top 16. They were 16th in offensive efficiency going into the tournament. You look at their lineup, they have lengthy guards. Chris Duarte is 6'6". LJ Figueroa is 6'6". Will Richardson is 6'5". And that's 3 guards right there.
And you notice that with Pac-12 today, they're long. Like their guards are long. I mean, it's a different game for them, it seems like, and they've proven that it's the game that's working the way that the Pac-12 is played.
Oregon has no real like tall player in their lineup. They're all like the same size.
Yeah.
6'5", and they have 6'5", and then 4 6'6" guys.
Yeah.
They have Eugene from Eugene, who's 6'6", playing the 5. And it worked. I mean, Garza got his numbers, but everyone else did nothing. Wieskamp was okay. Everybody else for Iowa was terrible in that game. And then off the bench, you have Frank Kepnang, who blocks everything and is 6'11". I mean, this is a really deep Oregon team, and I wouldn't want to play them.
Yeah.
I think they'll beat USC. Even if they don't, I think whoever wins the USC-Oregon game has a chance to compete with Gonzaga. Probably not beat them, but I mean, I think this Oregon team is legit, and I've been saying it the whole time. I had them in the Elite Eight. I'm one step away from being right on the money on that one. Not a big deal. Rest of my bracket sucks, but I can take that one home. If Florida State beats Michigan, though, I nailed that too. Florida State beats Michigan, and we'll see. Other second-round upsets, I would say. We need to talk about UCLA a little bit more, Pac-12.
Yeah.
I mean, they come back against Michigan State. They beat them. They handle BYU. I don't think BYU ever really had a chance in that game, even though I had BYU winning no matter what. And then Abilene Christian was just a really easy draw for them. Abilene Christian, they had their one great game. They're too small. They couldn't score. And I think that their defensive style is not sustainable for multiple games in a row in a tournament.
Yeah.
Because they play really hard. They have a ton of players that play, and they close out on everything. But it's hard to do that 2 games in a row against teams that are so talented.
I mean, how's BYU a 6 and Oregon was a 7? Come on.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, if you look at the actual quality of the teams, it really doesn't. And that's why, especially in a season like this, I would have thought the committee would have looked at the quality of a team rather than their resume. I mean, I think we went way too resume-based. Loyola Chicago was the number 9 team on KenPom going into the tournament. Say what you want about their resume. I know they had some bad quad losses. By the way, the quad system sucks. We got to get rid of that. But they were such a better team than an 8 seed. We have to stop looking so far into resumes. That's what kills a bracket. That's what kills a number 1 or a 2 seed. I know that they're supposed to be better teams, but we have to look at the quality of a team more than their resume. And I think this year would have been the year to do that.
Right.
Why would you not do that? I mean, Loyola Chicago is a perfect example. Number 9 overall in KenPom. You look at the top 8; they were all 1s and 2 seeds. Then the number 9 team is an 8 seed.
That was crazy.
I don't care that they lost to Wisconsin and Richmond. I don't care they lost to Indiana State and Drake. Don't care.
On the road. And they were, I mean, besides the Wisconsin game, I think they were all fairly close games.
And the committee once again does their quad system BS, looking at the resume more than the actual quality of a team, and they screwed over
the committee wanted that game. There's no doubt about it. They wanted that Illinois Loyola.
They probably wanted Oregon, Iowa too,
and Loyola Chicago ran Illinois out of the gym.
They did, and we're not going to talk about that game anymore.
I agree.
Syracuse killed San Diego State. We got that. They also beat West Virginia. So
and so the bracket that we, may have been the hardest, people thought, has an 8, a 12, an 11, and a 2.
And I guarantee it's going to be an 8 against an 11 or a 12 against an 11.
Yeah,
in the Elite 8.
Yeah, you really love Buddy, don't you?
I think Syracuse, when they're double-digit seed, they get to the Elite 8 at a minimum.
Yeah.
And Houston, I don't think, can score enough. And I don't care how good Houston is defensively. West Virginia tried to actually play some defense. That didn't work. San Diego State was a pretty good defensive team. They got killed. When they can jump on you and they're hitting threes. Also, Alan Griffin does nothing for them, by the way. So we don't have to be mad at Syracuse for having him. He does nothing.
He's terrible. I was talking to Ian Tinsley. He's a big Syracuse guy. And he goes, people are like, how are you liking him? And he's like, he doesn't do anything. So, I mean.
Does he still start?
I do think he started, but I think he played like 8 minutes.
I also, didn't he average like 14 points a game?
I don't know. I don't think
he really fell off.
I think he's made 5 points in the tournament. Is what
I think they were bad when he was scoring, and now they're good now that he's not scoring as much. He averaged 13.7 a game.
Wow.
He had 3 against West Virginia and 0 against San Diego State. He played. Okay, yeah. Listen to his minutes. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
His entire season. Here we go. 37, 30, 30, 37, 29, 24, 39, 37, 33, 32, 32, 16, 37, 36, 39, 26, 40, 31, 24, 32, 33, 30, or 23, 39. Now we get to the ACC tournament, 32, 12, 15, 11. So I wonder if he
stepped on a guy in practice or something.
He could have done that, yeah.
Probably stepped on Buddy, and Jim's just not having it. Don't mess with my kid.
By the way, that Tanner Groves from Eastern Washington entered the transfer portal just now. He was the Big Sky Player of the Year, 17 points, 8 rebounds. He had 35 against Kansas. So, and he looks like Zeke Schrute from The Office. So keep that in mind. There's 3 big Cinderella teams that are double-digit seeds that we are going to talk about. They're all on the right side of the bracket. I guess I don't really want to consider UCLA a Cinderella, but they're in there, so they're in 11, so whatever. Which of these 4 teams, because I'll include UCLA, which of these 4 teams has the best chance to get to the national championship game? I don't think any of them will, but you got Oral Roberts, Oregon State, Syracuse, UCLA. Go.
I would go with Syracuse.
Yeah.
I think they have the easiest path if they get past Houston. I mean, I don't think they have a problem. They're going to have a problem with Loyola or Oregon State. But imagine calling Syracuse a Cinderella, though.
I said I didn't want to do it, but I just included the double-digit seeds left.
I know. I get it.
The only real Cinderellas left are Oral Roberts and Oregon State, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
UCLA doesn't really count.
Yeah. I agree.
They're power conferences. So it's kind of, even though Oregon State is,
but they also had to play into the tournament, and the fact that they're still making a run is pretty impressive.
Would we consider Georgetown that if they would have gotten to the Sweet 16?
Yes.
Okay.
But
also, I love how
no chance Georgetown was getting to the Sweet 16.
I love how Qudus Wahab, who is that big time player for them, he was developed by Ewing. He was a Big East tournament all first team. Ewing developed him in the first 2 years. He was going to be their go-to guy next year, and then he goes in the transfer portal. Like, why would you leave? Like, dude, there's no such thing as
portal is ridiculous. heard there's 900 guys in it already. Is that true?
I can give you the exact number right now. All I know is that I think a lot of guys are going to end up going back to where they were.
I do too. Yeah. I mean,
Like
just
we
'cause
saw
you're
that with
entering it doesn't
Isaiah
mean that
Brockington
yeah.
at
Yeah.
Penn State.
Very
All
true.
right, transfer portal. You ready? 928.
900. Yeah.
There was a guy that just got in there 8 seconds ago. Jamal Cain, Marquette.
He doesn't want Shaka, huh? Jeez.
Yep. Rutgers losing Jacob Young and Miles Johnson. Not great. Not great. Christian Lander, Indiana.
Could you
So let's
imagine
just-
if you got recruited by Shaka Smart and you didn't go to Texas and you ended up going to Marquette, and then and now he's at Marquette? That'd be awkward. I don't know if that's ever happened, but
25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33,
Counting
34,
podcast?
35, 36, 37, 38, 39,
82.
40, 41, 42, 43, 44. There's been 45 players in the transfer portal in the last 7 hours.
wow.
Yeah, so cool. And Tanner Groves entered. So that's what was the number I just said?
42,
I said more than that. I think I said
44,
like 40, 49 or something.
47, I think.
We'll say there's been 48 players because Groves just entered. So there you go. There's your transfer portal update.
Yeah.
Everybody in the country's in there. Isn't that almost like a third of the players, right?
I don't know how many players.
Because there's three at D1 basketball. There's 300 and how many teams are there? Let me go to KenPom.
60. There's like 363.
It's up near there, yeah. It's 357. Okay, so if you go to a calculator, 357 times 14. Say 14.
4,600.
I mean, that's almost a fourth of the players.
5 by 900.
It's going to get to a fourth.
Yeah, crazy. Did they pass the automatic rule like you can play immediately or not? I don't think they did. I thought
weren't they going to pass a one-time transfer thing?
I thought that it got shot down.
I thought that they were moving towards doing it.
Maybe it just has.
They should do the one-time transfer where you can transfer once and get automatic eligibility.
They should do that anyways. Yeah. I mean, they let random people like Alan Griffin play the next year anyways. So
yeah, well, that was COVID related. So
sure it was.
I mean, they let.
He just wanted to make it to a Sweet 16, man. He knew Illinois couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's disappointing. All right.
It would have been nice to see that matchup if Illinois would have played Syracuse.
In the Elite Eight, yeah, would have run them out of the gym there. They can't play any defense. Actually, Illinois probably would have been confused by the zone too. Like, why is it like everyone's confused by zone defense?
I don't know.
Against a team that's not even good defensively, who has a dude that plays the 5 that's like 7 foot, 120 pounds.
Yeah.
Dolage or whatever. What a joke. What the hell's Huggins doing? He's got 900 freaking wins. Learn how to play against the zone. Jesus. There was 1,881 wins between Boeheim and Huggins.
Wow.
Boeheim has 982 now. Huggins has 900. So 1,882.
Does Boeheim really have more though? Didn't he have to vacate some or something? Or is that non-vacated wins? I thought he was over 1,000.
He has 981 and 408. 982 and 408.
408 vacated.
408 losses.
I'm like, geez.
Nothing
vacated a decade. He has vacated wins. I guarantee he does.
He does, yeah. 2,000.
He has 2,000 vacated wins. Most winningest coach in the world.
I don't know.
Okay.
He does have some like.
Why don't you just Google it? Jeez Louise.
0405, 0506, and 1112.
The scandal. 101 of his wins.
Does that not count towards the 982?
In 2015, the NCAA vacated 101 of his wins. I don't think that it does.
Because he's been there. He's been at Syracuse for 45 years.
Never mind. Reduced his number from 966 to 858. Well, and that was in 2015. So
how many wins would he have to have from now to then? To get to 982.
I don't know.
Okay.
Going off
How
on
many
this Jim Boeheim rant right now.
actual wins
What's
does
going on right now? Jim Boeheim has 982, and I think plus 100.
that number does not include the 101 wins that were vacated?
Yeah, they won't include him.
He better have over 1,000 wins. He's been there for 45 years.
He's been there forever, since 1976.
Yeah, 45 years.
Can
Jeez,
you
what a loser. Get
like
another
how
job,
old
Jim.
is he? How does he have a kid in college?
He was 55 when he had that kid.
76. A college kid, 76 years old.
If he could last about 6 more years, I bet Buddy could be the head coach there.
But he's gonna be coaching his grandson.
I mean,
anyway,
enough Boeheim there. Let's do the inside out duos left in this tournament and ranking them. And I guess I don't even have a ranking. I just have the names in front of me, and maybe I'll just go at random. I mean, I'll go from 16 to 1. You tell me if you agree or disagree.
okay.
So, the worst one
I
left.
did list mine, but go ahead.
Okay, well, let's do this.
You go ahead.
I'll tell you who my 16 is. You tell me who your 16 is.
Gotcha. Sounds good.
Okay, so my 16, if I'm just looking at it right now, oh boy, I don't even know.
You did good prep, bro.
I was just planning on just doing this off the cuff, that type of deal.
That's good.
What's your 16?
My 16 would be Oregon State.
Okay, mine's going to be Florida State.
Okay.
MJ Walker and Raekwon Gray. 15, I'll say Oregon State as well. Ethan Thompson and Alatishe. Who's your 15?
My 15 is Creighton. Honestly, I don't think I watched Creighton play much. Go
ahead. 14, I will go with. Are we at 14?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go.
Riveting stuff.
Villanova.
Okay.
They're good, but whatever.
I'm going with Florida State.
All right, 13. I will go with Mike Smith and Hunter Dickinson, because I don't think that Mike Smith is. If I would have put Brooks and Dickinson, I might have gone a different way, but whatever.
Number are we at?
13.
I put UCLA.
Okay, I will go with UCLA.
I can't say that that I'm like really good at this, but yeah.
I'm actually going to put UCLA at 13. I'm going to put Michigan at 12.
Okay.
11. Who do you have at 12?
Who do I have at 12? I put Houston.
Okay, 11. I'm going to go with Creighton, Zagorowski, Christian Bishop. 10. I will go with 10. I'll go with Houston as well. I think Gorham holds Grimes back a little bit. Plus, Houston doesn't really have a true big man.
I'm really confused on my numbers now, but anyways.
10. Number 10.
Did I say Villanova yet?
No.
Villanova.
Who was your 11?
Houston.
We're on track. Okay.
Okay.
Now we get into the top 10. Number 9, I will go with.
I feel like I skipped a number or something. I don't know what's going on.
I will go with Syracuse number 9, Buddy and Dolezaj. And Buddy's the only reason they're in the top 10.
Yeah, exactly. I have Arkansas at 9.
Okay, I'm going to go with at number 8. I will go. Tell me your 9 through 16.
Well, I just changed it on the fly, so.
All right, good. We're good.
Anyways.
Number 8 is where we're at. And
I have Syracuse 8.
Okay, number 8, I'm going to go with. No. Okay, yeah. I'm going to go with Butler and Chamwa Chachua from Baylor.
Okay.
Number 7.
I have Alabama.
I'm going to go with Loyola Chicago at 7. Williamson and Krutwig. And number 6, I'm going to go with Jaden Shackelford and Herb. No. Number 6, I'm going to go with Arkansas.
Okay.
Moody and Smith. What about 5?
6, I had Baylor. I don't think he asked me
Okay.
that. 5, I have Loyola Chicago.
5, I'm going to go with Chris Duarte and Eugene from Eugene.
Okay.
Did you say 5, Loyola?
Yep.
This is so confusing. I should just put mine down. 4?
4, I have Michigan.
4, I went with Shackelford and Jones from Bama.
Mm-hmm.
At number 3, who you got?
3, I have Oregon.
3, I have Asmus and O'Banner.
I don't know how I met. I don't know what I did. I still have 3 teams left. I have Oral Roberts, USC, and Gonzaga left. What number are we on?
You probably just didn't say one. Here, let's
Not a big deal.
Let's go over all of it now, 1 through 16. Okay. Number 1, I have Gonzaga.
I have Gonzaga.
2, I have USC.
I have USC.
3, I have Oral Roberts.
Same.
Okay. 4, I have Alabama.
4, I have Oregon.
5, I have Oregon.
5, I have Loyola Chicago.
Okay. 6, I have Arkansas.
6, I don't know. See my numbers. 6, I have Baylor.
Okay. 7, I have Loyola Chicago.
7, I have Alabama.
Then 8, I have Baylor.
8, I have Syracuse.
What are we on? 9, I have Syracuse.
Arkansas.
Okay, then 10 through 16, I have Houston, Creighton, Michigan, UCLA, Villanova, Oregon State, Florida State. Boom. Nailed it.
Sounds good.
All right, we're good.
I think we're pretty. I think we're pretty even there.
All right.
That's pretty close.
Let's talk about conferences. Big 10, Big 12 suck. Pac-12 is great. Thoughts?
That is the perfect definition of what has happened. ACC also sucks. I think we can say that, right? But we knew that all year.
Syracuse and Florida State are there.
People just need to stay up a little later, watch some Pac-12 basketball, and realize how different the game is on the West Coast. It's a different game.
Let that one soak for a minute for everybody. All right, let's just do this now. Let's pick the games, talk about the matchups. We'll start.
Okay.
We'll just go based off of when the games will take place. So tomorrow, the first game is on CBS, 1:40 Central Time. It is Loyola Chicago, Oregon State. What do you think in this one?
I think Loyola Chicago is going to win this. Porter Moser, if he has any sort of game plan like he did against Illinois, I have a hard time seeing him lose, honestly. I mean, what they ran against Illinois and the way that Illinois didn't adjust, maybe Oregon State will be different and they'll make some adjustments. I did hear that Brad Underwood said he threw the whole book at that game.
No, he didn't.
Well, obviously he didn't, but
it's a small book.
His book doesn't have very many options.
No.
So
the options are stand around and dribble, throw it up to Kofi, see what happens, and don't play defense.
High ball screens that get cut off, and chase everybody around and run off 2 screens every time.
Don't play defense, yes. Okay, so
it's weird.
Why can't they just switch on every screen? Don't you think they'll be able to do that more when Kofi's not there? Because they'll have a guy a little more of a versatile.
Well, the thing is, the way that Loyola and I know we were going to talk about this game, but the more I think about it and stuff, but the way Loyola defended that game and came out and forced them, and Illinois' defense was literally Kofi stand underneath the basket, pretty much. I don't know why Kofi can't come out. Kofi has quick feet. I mean, he's not the slowest dude in the world. I don't understand why they don't hedge like Loyola did. I mean,
think they're too worried about guarding the paint, but still getting beat in the paint anyway.
Yeah, Loyola scored 40 in the paint.
Yeah,
if they were that worried about it, Underwood said he had a great plan for Krutwig. I'm still waiting for that one to come up.
They should let Georgie come out and guard the threes and get all the way down like this defensively and let someone hit one in his face.
Enough of that game.
Yeah, I mean, my light just flicked on finally. It's been on for like an hour and then it finally flicked on.
It's like it takes like 45 minutes every time, I think. That's when we know we hit the 45-minute point.
Yeah. So I also like Loyola in this game. I just think they're better. I do. And I think at some point Oregon State's going to run into a team that's better. And you got to think about this too. Oregon State was playing a lot of games in a short amount of time. Now they've had a few days off.
Break, yeah.
They've had, 5 days off? So as good as they've been and as good of a story as they are, I think Loyola wins this game. Now, I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think because Oregon State can stay in games with their ability to shoot the free throws. They were 33 for 35 against Oklahoma State. And I warned everybody about Oklahoma State. Everybody thought it was a guarantee that Illinois and Oklahoma State would play in the Sweet 16. Neither of them are there. I thought Illinois would get there. I didn't think Oklahoma State would have as good of a chance to get there. They didn't get there anyway. But that just shows that if you hire the number one recruit's brother, he'll come to your school, but it doesn't guarantee you're going to win very much, right? I mean, they did make the tournament, so props, and they were a 4 seed, but I do think Loyola wins this game. I'd say somewhere around a 2-point game for me, probably in the 60s. I don't think Oregon State's going to be able to score as much as they have been in the last couple games.
Yeah. And I didn't, when we did the prediction for that game, I didn't take into account how good Loyola's defense was. I thought that maybe playing somebody else would have. You
had 79, 72 or something, and I had 69, 62. So,
yeah.
I mean, Loyola knows how to win in the tournament. That's the one thing they have on Oregon State, definitely. I just think they're better. I think Oregon State has better shooters, but I just think Loyola is so good defensively and can execute a game plan more than anybody. And they have 2 guys starting in their lineup, one guy at the 1, the other guy at the 5, or I guess the 2 and the 5, that have been there and done that. So I think Loyola wins this game. Second game tomorrow is Villanova Baylor. That's at 4:15 Central on CBS. Villanova, how about this? I mean, this just shows you that Jay Wright can coach.
Yeah.
I mean, this roster is not that good.
Yeah.
They were about 100 times better. Impressive. They've been about 100 times better when they won the championships than they are right now. They don't have a real point guard. They have Archie Diak and his brother.
12 and a 13. So.
That definitely helps. But the fact that they killed the 13 and they were pretty dominant over the 12. So it's not like they barely beat both of those teams. But it helps that they did play them. And I honestly think the way Villanova's played, if Purdue would have barely gotten away from North Texas, I think Villanova would have beaten Purdue at that point. But that's all speculation. But I think Baylor wins this game, and I think they win it by double digits. I just think they're finally back to playing the way they were before their 2-week pause. And when they have it going, I mean, they're really hard to stop.
Yeah. I think Baylor's going to win it. I think that it might be a little closer than that. Is Gillespie back?
He's never going to play. In this tournament. No,
they said he'd be back. Well,
he has a legit injury.
They lose by 20 then.
He's like a torn MCL or whatever.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
When did I miss that?
You probably knew about it, but then you just figured it was like COVID or something.
Yeah.
No,
I knew he was hurt, but I thought that he would be back for some reason.
Torn MCL.
Maybe that was before the MRI.
Yeah, he's gone. He's not going to be playing. But I just don't think Villanova doesn't have the bodies. I just think that the thing with Baylor is that they have a good 5-man rotation, but they have a center that comes off the bench and Jonathan Shamwa Chachua, whatever the hell his name is.
It's a great
amazing name. I don't even know how to spell it without looking it up. And he's better than Thamba. He comes off the bench at the 5. Flagler's a great guard that comes off the bench, and Matt Meyer led them in scoring in the last game. So they have 8 guys that play that are really good. And LJ Cryer could come off the bench as a freshman. Maybe he could contribute, but they're just a lot better than Villanova is. And props to Jay Wright and Villanova to get into the Sweet 16 because nobody thought that they would get out of the first round. So here they are. I don't think they're going to win, but it's a nice little story, I guess, for people that don't hate Villanova, which I don't. They've won 2 titles in the last 7 years or whatever. Don't care. Doesn't mean I'm going to hate them.
Both teams that you thought are going to lose so far, you said they've been nice stories. See you later. Just so you know.
Yes, and the next one is the same thing. Arkansas, Oral Roberts, 6:25 TBS. Sure, we'll get your Charles Barkley in the studio, I guess, even though I don't know why they wouldn't just dump those guys after the first 2 rounds. And you know what? I got to say this real quick. I know I've hated on the guy a lot, but Andy Katz did a really good job because he pays attention. The other guys don't. True. And I actually feel bad for him having to be stuck with that garbage. So those guys are entertainment. They're great for the NBA, but nobody wants to hear what they have to say about college hoops. They don't know what they're talking about. We got Coach Pickle. We got him not knowing the names of anybody. I mean, it's embarrassing.
What is the point of bringing in NBA guys to do college
They think it's going to help their ratings, but it's not.
Yeah.
Nobody watches March Madness for the in-studio.
Like, you got 4 TVs on. I'm not, like, watching what they're talking about after the game or before the game. Sorry.
The only time that I really watched them was, like, when it was on from, like, 11:30 to 12:30 because all the games were over.
There's nothing on.
And I wanted to hear what other stupid things he would say, and that's where I caught the Coach Pickle thing. So I think that Arkansas wins this game by 6. Arkansas is a sneaky, really good team. I know they're a 3 seed, but I feel like some people have disrespected them. Somebody I know had Colgate in the Final Four. So
wow,
disrespectful to Arkansas.
I love Arkansas.
Justin Smith, Moses
especially
Moody.
Those Razorback jerseys. I need to get me one of those.
Now they did get a little bit lucky that Texas Tech missed a couple layups late in that game, but. True. As great as it would be to see this nice little story of Oral Roberts, they're not going to win this game, I don't think. Unless if O'Banner and Ace have a game, they'll win the game, but I just don't see it happening. Bro. It is a cool story, yeah.
You're spot on. I agree, Arkansas.
Every time, yeah. I nailed it. By the way, quick update for the people that love women's basketball. My tournament for the women's bracket is unreal. This might be the best bracket
loves women's basketball.
I gotta say, I don't dislike it that much. I mean, women's college basketball is not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. When they can, No.
The WNBA is a complete
I didn't mean
joke,
anything by that. Different. Please see, we lost 2 viewers because I said that. I was just joking, guys.
Well, I did just say the WNBA is a joke, but
my brother coaches girls basketball. My stepfather coached girls basketball. It was just a joke, guys. I'm joking.
And while we're on the subject, I'm going to pull up my screen here. Look at this bracket. This is an unreal bracket. You ready?
What, did you pick all one seeds?
99%. You see that?
Wow. Are you winning the ESPN thing because you're the only one that filled one out? Or
all right. Look at that. I mean, come on. Nailed it.
North Carolina. Did you get Michigan? Nope.
I got every single Sweet 16 team except for Arkansas and Tennessee. How about that? Pretty good.
Okay. Dude, how much do we hate Michigan now? The ladies team made it to the Sweet 16.
Look at that. 99%.
What place are you in?
The number one person has 620.
What?
And I have 540 or whatever. So still pretty good though. I mean, come on.
That's impressive.
540, bro. Yeah. I am coming in about here. I'll find it. I'm probably around the 200s or the 300s for that. Mm-hmm. My men's brackets are bad. Anyway, another wasted segment. Let's go now to the final game of the day tomorrow, which is Syracuse and Houston. And I got to say, I've never been more confident in an 11 seed over a 2 seed than this game.
Wow.
Cuse are rolling 75-63 final. Yeah.
Winning by 12, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I have Syracuse winning. I think it's going to be a close game, but
I'm all in. I didn't pick them to win in round 1 or round 2. Now I'm back.
Houston struggled with Rutgers. So that kind of worries me because I think Syracuse is a better team than Rutgers, even though they're an 11 seed and Rutgers was a 10.
Rutgers did beat Syracuse early in the season, too.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
You know, Rutgers in the early parts of the season actually had a Ron Harper Jr. that could shoot, and then somehow he lost his ability to shoot.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
They weren't as good as they should have been because I think Rutgers' roster on paper should have been a top 5 Big Ten team. So, and they weren't. And they ended up being a 10 seed, but they also played one of the worst 7 seeds you could play. So there you go. Clemson is a horrendous 7 seed. The fact they were a 7 seed, the fact that Clemson was on the same – talk about BYU. The fact that Clemson was on the same seed line as Oregon is a joke.
Yeah, Absolutely.
I mean, just embarrassing by the committee. And the committee's mostly full of these skeletons who don't know what the hell they're doing most of the time, but it is what it is. They're way too resume based over actual team skill, but they're not ready to have someone like myself on the committee.
Yeah. How do you run for that? Can you get on that?
You have to be an athletic director probably, because I know the committee chair is the athletic director of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So conflict of interest, but whatever.
He was just mad his team wasn't there.
He was probably thinking, guys, I know they're 9-14, but you look at some of these games.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, they almost came back and won. They blew. Kentucky is a team that should have been over 500. They had like 5 SEC games where they were winning. They got screwed against Arkansas. They were beating Tennessee. Just a lot of mess ups in that whole deal. And they'll be back next year, but whatever. I'm not going to waste time on Kentucky. We've already wasted enough time. Gonzaga Creighton 110 CBS on Sunday is how we start. And I think Gonzaga wins, and I think they cover the spread. Don't care what the spread is. I don't know how they. Yeah. I mean, all I got to say about Gonzaga, and I don't know if I texted you this, but I texted this to somebody. Oklahoma played about as good of a game as you can play against Gonzaga. They made their shots,
said that to me.
And they did all this stuff, and they lose. Now, I will say the refs definitely helped Gonzaga cover the spread.
Yeah.
But Gonzaga was in control of that game the whole time.
Yeah. So we're going out to eat on Sunday. And my wife asked me what time the games were, and I said, well, Gonzaga plays at 1, but I really don't care that much because they're going to win by 20. So,
they're a 13-point favorite. I have them winning by 16. I think they cover the spread.
Yeah, I think
that's got to be 20. That's got to be one of the larger 1 versus 5 spreads in a while, right? Because I feel like a 1 versus 5 is typically more like even Baylor Villanova is.
I think the only other one, the only one in the other one in the Sweet 16 is, I think, I want to say Baylor's an 11-point favorite.
Baylor's 7.5. Arkansas is 11.5
favorite. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Gonzaga should win this going away. Here's the thing. I think Creighton's been impressive. I know they had that whole thing with their coach at the end of the season. They wanted him to continue to coach, and he has. They beat UCSB last second, but they're another one of those teams like Villanova that got there beating a 12 and a 13. They beat Ohio handily. Now, they did kill Ohio. I would say Villanova and Creighton have been like the same. They're both Big East teams, too. They beat a 12 and a 13. They beat the 12 in a fairly close game in Villanova, and Winthrop was a little bit more of a gap in score than the Creighton UCSB game. But then they just killed the 13 seeds in the next round. And now they're both going to get, beat up by the 1 seed. So nobody's beating Gonzaga. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I think it's going to be an undefeated season. So, and if anyone was going to beat them, it would have been Oklahoma. They played really well, and not enough. Second game is Michigan and Florida State. I think that's at 4:15 on CBS. So there's the first 2 games on CBS, second 2 games on TBS. That is the same for both days. Michigan, Florida State. I got to say, I like Florida State in this game. I'm sticking with them. I had them in my original bracket going to this game and winning this game. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were really good against Colorado.
Yeah. They struggled at the beginning of that game.
Both teams struggled. Like there was no points.
Yeah, it was at 11-12 with 3 minutes left or something.
I think it was 25-21 at the half, I think.
Yeah, it was bad. So as long as Florida State gets going, I have Florida State winning this game too. So Michigan is not the same team without Livers.
They're not. And LSU probably should have beaten them, but they really fell off. I mean, I don't know what their offensive plan was there. It was really weird.
Yeah, that's.
I thought LSU
was going to beat them, and then all of a sudden it was Michigan just took over. It seemed
the reason the Michigan won is because Sean D. Brown finally figured out how to shoot.
Yeah, he was huge. 21 points off the bench, pretty good.
Yeah, it's like most threes, he'll just toss them up airball, but then he actually starts to make them, and it's like, he can shoot? What?
Yeah, Smith airballed one. That was ugly. Oh, man, it was bad.
This is a 6:15 game on TBS, Alabama and UCLA, which is right here on this bracket, back here. So there you go. I think Alabama wins this game by double digits. I don't think we're going to have that many close games this weekend.
Yeah, I agree.
Alabama
just unreal.
Blew the F out of Maryland.
You
were texting me early in that game being worried.
Yeah, it was close. I was scared.
And then they had more threes than
And then
twos.
I think after I sent that, they seriously made like 6 threes in a row. It was
That's what Alabama does.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that's what they do.
It reminds me of that Auburn team a couple of years ago.
Except they're actually better.
Yeah, true.
And they're a 2 seed.
Yes.
And they have a coach who isn't a complete and total loser scumbag like Bruce Pearl.
Also true.
Nate Oates is a great guy. Nate Oates was a high school coach. Love this story. Rothstein tells it all the time. Every time Nate Oates is brought up, he's a high school coach. The best player on his high school team gets recruited to go to Ucla or Rhode Island with Dan Hurley. Dan Hurley tells Bobby Hurley, "Hey, Nate Oates seems like a really good coach. You should hire him as an assistant. He'll be a college coach one day." Bobby Hurley goes to Buffalo, hires Nate Oates as an assistant coach. Bobby Hurley leaves Buffalo to Arizona State. Nate Oates gets the Buffalo job. Nate Oates beats Bobby Hurley in the tournament at Buffalo, does a great job with Buffalo, goes to Alabama, and now he's got them in the Sweet 16 as a 2 seed. So, I mean, the fact that Alabama is this good already at basketball again with Nate Oates, number one, it shows how big of an embarrassment Avery Johnson was there. And number two, it shows that Nate Oates, he can do a little bit of coaching. So those are the best type of coaches you can get right there right now. Those mid-major guys that win with lesser recruiting, unless you're Shaka Smart. Shaka Smart apparently can't coach the great talent.
Nope.
But if you got a guy that can coach both and has proven that he can win with less, why not hire him? You don't have to hire the big name or the old windbag who's been retired for a decade. You don't have to hire those types. Sure. I'm not even really referring to anyone specifically, but I feel like that's how, like, I'm sure Indiana's probably almost the point where they're going to call Bobby Knight at this point. I mean, seriously. Jesus, get it together. Hire someone who's got a track record of being able to recruit and coach with lesser talent. You have to call, maybe they'll call Gene Keady as well. Make Gene Keady the associate head coach and Bobby Knight the head coach. That would be fun. I have a weird feeling. I think a lot of people feel this way. Maybe Bobby Knight's style wouldn't work out these days, huh? Not sure it would.
I don't know. Probably wouldn't be able.
I don't think throwing chairs at players is acceptable right now. Because everyone bitched and complained when Tom Izzo slightly grabbed a player.
We are in
Give me a break.
We live in a different world.
Yeah, I mean, I don't condone throwing stuff at players, but I'm just saying.
Sometimes you need to.
Yeah, Oregon USC. This is a perfect time slot. Sunday night, late night, Pac-12 after dark.
Are they just playing it at 11 o'clock? Do you think Bill Walton's going to be on this game?
He's got to do a game. I mean, they're probably going to have him on like during a game just to talk for like 5 minutes, but you got to have him do color. Seriously, you have to. If you don't, you're missing a huge opportunity. I don't care what what's his face says. If it's not Bill Raftery, I don't care.
I don't know if he would do it, though, because I don't think weed's legal in Indiana.
He could do it from home. Sneak an edible in there. What the hell is wrong with that?
True.
Do it from home, Bill. Come on. We need Bill.
Come on, Bill.
Got to get him.
He probably wouldn't do this game because he's so mad at the committee for setting this Sweet 16 game up. These guys should be playing in the Final Four.
They're in a position to get 3 Final Four teams.
Yeah.
They're not going to get any, but they're in a position to get 3. So I agree. Oregon should be like the 6th seed in the South over Texas Tech. I agree with that because Oregon will be playing Oral Roberts right now and they'd beat them by 20. So there you go. But Oregon USC, I do like the Ducks in this game. I'm going to stick with my original pick. I think Oregon wins by about 7 or 8. I think the spread on this one is
7. I think
USC
7, right?
-2.
Oh, -2. Okay.
USC's favored by 2. I love Oregon in this game.
I have Oregon too. We are legit matched on all of these.
Are we?
Yep.
Jeez, I'll have to change one of my picks.
Why? You're gonna lose the game if you change one.
I think I'm due for a nice 8-0 week. I really do.
Yep. Let's
just hope that Gonzaga wins it all, right? I think that's what we should be hoping for.
True.
So after all the madness, how surprised would you be if we just get a Gonzaga Baylor championship?
Not surprised at all. I think Alabama, if they get to the Final Four, might give Gonzaga a game. Baylor, I don't know. Baylor can be inconsistent, so that's my only worry with Baylor. But we didn't get this matchup earlier in the year because of COVID.
We deserve it.
I would love a Gonzaga Baylor championship.
I mean, I think most people would cry about it, but it's not like it's Duke, Kentucky. You know,
Right.
Gonzaga, Baylor are not
Absolutely.
those blue blood programs.
Right.
They're just really good now. And what do you think majority of the country would root for who in that game?
Gonzaga. Because in a lot of people's eyes, Gonzaga is still a Cinderella team.
I don't think anybody thinks that.
Oh,
not Cinderella.
People that only watch basketball during the tournament, I guarantee they think that.
They're not going to look at a 30-0 team as a Cinderella.
I'm just saying.
They'll look at them as like an underdog or something.
But do you think people are gonna root for the undefeated season, or you think they're gonna root for?
I think they would root against the undefeated season, right? I mean, that's usually how sports go.
Everybody loves Gonzaga. I don't know. I don't know a person out there that doesn't love Gonzaga. Like, even if you hate every other school.
How about all those morons that say they don't play anybody? They beat a Big Ten. They barely win 7 games.
They're morons, just like he said.
They go 7-13 to Big Ten. You can say whatever you want. Big Ten's way better. Well, the Big Ten had 9 teams. Now they have 1 left, and it's a Sweet 16.
Heck of a hick accent.
You know who I'm talking to here. I mean, all these people. Oh, they're not in the Big Ten. Oh, I blame all these idiots who talk about how great the Big Ten is as to why the Big Ten has 1 team left, and barely. Michigan barely beat Texas Southern in terms of a 1 versus a 16, and then they barely beat LSU. Yeah. So thanks to those people out there that are like, oh, the Big Ten's so great. Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, nobody's better. West Coast Conference sucks. Gonzaga sucks. They don't play anybody.
Can you just talk like that all the time?
Please? They haven't played anybody in 5 months. They played.
You gotta spit like you're spitting your chaw, though.
I mean, I don't really think that's something that I should do. I think that might be taking a little bit over the line, maybe offend some people. But
what, that chew?
Yes, but Gonzaga better win the championship, so everyone will shut the hell up once and for all. And let me just ask you this one. If you had to say right now, and this is just for fun and nobody knows, who will be the 4-1 seeds next year? Putting you on the spot.
4-1 seeds next year?
Yep.
Yikes.
I think Gonzaga and Michigan will both be 1 seeds.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the other 2 1 seeds is going to be like
Alabama. I think may have a shot. Don't they got some good guys coming in?
Yeah, but Primo and Shackelford will probably be gone. A couple of guys. Namari Burnett would be a big ad there.
Yeah,
I don't know about John Petty Jr., but Kansas will probably be back to being a 1 seed.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? North Carolina, Duke, those guys. How they'll
Nevada. Nevada will be the 1 seed.
Some guy, one of the guys from Grand Canyon passed away.
Yeah, I think he played against Iowa, and then he died in a car accident a few days ago.
Oh, really? That's
pretty
sad.
bad. Yeah. I think he was like a big time player for them, not like I don't know if he started, but he played minutes. So
yeah,
it's very sad. I think that's all we have for this show. Did you happen to catch any of the NCAA men's hockey tournament today?
I did not. I didn't have time to watch any of it. You know, I was hanging on to your every tweet about the Wisconsin
Bemidji State
game.
Never heard of Bemidji State, but I picked them in my bracket. So
did you?
On that. Yeah.
Is Wisconsin not very good at hockey?
Wisconsin's good. They have some good pro players. You look at Dylan Holloway, who was drafted by the Oilers last year. You look at Cole Caulfield, drafted by the Canadiens a couple years ago. They're good, but I just feel like they're so inconsistent. Their power play, not great. So yeah. But I just found out that Bemidji is in Minnesota, and I guess that's how you say it.
Oh, there you go. That
also
has
cheap.
A lot to do with it.
$16,000 after aid, not bad. But yeah, they have 4,000 students approximately. So there's some good NCAA men's hockey games tonight. If you don't want to watch the garbage ass NIT, like imagine caring about the NIT. I love college basketball as much as the next guy, but who cares about the NIT? No time for that trash. Really don't. But yeah, men's hockey tournament. Check it out.
Check it out. Now you got a Canadian accent. Are we doing like improv here or what?
I mean, we could. So tonight, men's hockey tournament, if you guys want to check it out. Massachusetts and Lake Superior State play on ESPNU at 5:30 Central. So you got that. And then you have one more game, which is North Dakota, who I have winning it all, against American International, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern on ESPN3. And you also have, I guess Michigan got knocked out of the hockey tournament due to COVID.
What are we talking about? Hockey?
Michigan got knocked out of the tournament due to COVID, so which sucks because Michigan had a loaded team. Michigan was loaded. But I think North Dakota is going to win the tournament. So, I mean, there's only 5 states in this country that truly care about hockey.
Fair enough.
Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Massachusetts.
Canada.
And then I guess New York slightly just because, with Phil Vercoda, who was on the 1979 Lake Placid team. But I digress. All right. I guess we're done here since this is supposed to be a college basketball show. We've had like 7 other topics that have nothing to do with this. So this was good. We'll talk about the Elite Eight a couple days. We'll do one of these again, I guess, then the Final Four. Hopefully people actually give us questions sometime because I do want to, check that out. But in terms of our Illini podcast, we'll be back soon with that one. So, all right. That'll be that. See you next season.
Take care, everybody.